Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Creating Wealth. My name is Marjorie, and as always, we have the pleasure of learning from our maestro, Robert D. Allen. Thank you so much for coming today.
Hello, everybody.
And today we're going to be creating wealth, and in order to creating wealth, we have to be successful in our investments, in this case, real estate investments. So first of all, what is your personal goal when you start investing in a certain property?
It's got to be a good deal. I'm a business person. I need to buy low and sell high. I'm a speculator. They buy high and they sell low. So I got to make a profit or I'm not even willing to look at it.
That's true. I mean, I feel like at that point, it's not worth your time because your time is also an asset. It's kind of part of your investment also. And like most people, they don't even think about the time that they are using for looking for deals.
Most beginners have a hard time getting what I just said. It's got to be a good deal. First of all, they don't know what a good deal is. So let's take a single family home and it's in your city and you find a seller who seems to really need to get rid of it. They've got a personal problem, not a property problem. And therefore, what is a good deal? Well, using some very available software all around the United States, there are great websites you can go to that will show you every property in the United States and will show you the comps. That means comparative properties that are located around the property that you're evaluating. You can go to PropStream, for example, and get a free 7-day trial and do some of these kinds of things. So I go on PropStream. I find out the address of the property from the seller I was able to discover. I find that it's listed, let's say it's listed for $350,000. I say, is it worth $350,000? Well, with just one click of the button, I can see what properties have sold for around that property within a 1 or 2 mile radius. And it'll show me a picture of the property, what they bought it for, what they fix it up for, what they sold it for. And therefore, you can do an instant comparative market analysis on whether or not the property that you're looking at is actually a good deal or not. Yeah. Exactly. So suppose the property price that the seller wants is $350, but you look online and you can see 10 properties that are located around it have sold within the last 6 months for $450,000. Very similar square foot, very similar number of bedrooms, etc. They look approximately the same. So you don't need a fancy appraiser to tell you. It's just basic common sense.
Exactly.
Generally speaking, that property is probably undervalued. Mm-hmm. And maybe the seller doesn't know it. The seller that's not their game. Maybe they inherited it from an aunt and they don't want it. Maybe they had a tenant in there that trashed it. And they go, I don't want this property. I'm out of here, man. And therefore, they are willing to get rid of a problem property that's just killing them. They just don't want it any longer. So your job is to do a comparative market analysis, which you can do for very, very inexpensively. Mm-hmm. Some of these softwares that are brand new, they didn't exist when I was doing my serious real estate investing. It's only been in the last 5 years that they've really been prevalent. And now there are maybe a dozen really high quality sources for literally looking at every property in the United States, every one. And you literally can say, what did they sell for? What is this worth? Mm-hmm. What is the ATV? What is the after I fix this thing up, what's it worth?
After transformation value, I guess?
Yeah, after what percentage of the property of its future value if I fix it up?
Exactly.
What would it cost to fix up? And if it's fixed up, what will it be later on? So mm-hmm. my goal is to teach a person to be a business person. And most people aren't. There are two kinds of people in this country. They're employees and entrepreneurs. And mm-hmm. employees, they don't think the way we think. They think, somebody's got to pay me a salary. And therefore, they don't think like a business person mm-hmm. who looks for opportunities where there is a money-making opportunity. And employee-minded people don't think that way. So sometimes it's hard for me to teach a beginning real estate investor because I'll tell them this is a great deal, or this is how to find a great deal, and they come back to me with the craziest. They think just because somebody's listed it for sale that they're highly motivated to sell, and only 1 in 20 is that way. Therefore, they'll bring me 20 deals, and I'll go, no. Why do you think that was a good deal? It's what's it worth? And sometimes the way you do that in your negotiation is ask these questions. Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, what's your property worth? They'll tell you a number. Let's say it's $400,000. The next question right after that is, and what is your price? If they come back to you and say, well, it's worth 400 and my price is 400, you don't have a deal. The seller wants a retail price. So even as you ask the very first questions to a basic seller without doing any other kind of market research, just that question. And there are 5 questions. We've talked about this before in other broadcasts, but the 5 questions I got to know: what's the price? What are the condition of the property? What's its location? What is its fix up? What is it going to take to fix it up? And what is the flexibility of the seller?
Exactly.
And I ask those 5 questions. And when I get to price, just asking those 2 simple questions about price will let you know whether the seller thinks it's a good deal or not. Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, what is your property worth? In your opinion, what is it worth? Second question, what is your price? Price and worth are different. If they say it's the same, unless they're willing to give you some wholesale terms.
Or unless you have done your research yourself and I know that the zoning is going to be different. So this is actually worth more.
Yes. If you know that secret knowledge, that's great. But generally speaking, the seller kind of knows. And by asking that question, you're actually training the seller. Mm-hmm. You're training the seller to have him realize that you're a business person. What is it worth? What is its retail price? What is your price? What is the wholesale price? This is really kind of what you're asking.
Exactly.
What's the retail? What's the wholesale? What is your wholesale price? You see, I want it to be win-win. I want you to win and I want to win. I want you to win by me buying the property from you at a price that makes me win. Mm-hmm. If you feel like you win at the price I offer you, then it's win-win. And that's the fundamentals. Beginners, if you're a beginner in this game, just realize, what if you knew that a property was worth $500,000 and the seller would sell it for $400,000? What if that was you really knew that was the case? Wouldn't that take away a little bit of the sting of the fear of you could make maybe $100,000 on one property? What if you could use strategies where you didn't even need to buy it, but could flip it and make $50,000 in a quick chunk of cash? Wouldn't that take away some of your fear? Wouldn't it take away your fear if you could write clauses in your contract for you to tie up the property without risking a penny of your own money? So there was no risk whatsoever to you. Would you take the time to go research deals where I can show you how to do that? Would you have the fear lowered if you could realize that one property would earn more money for you than you would earn in an entire year working a job you don't like? Mm-hmm. There's just so many fear-reducing strategies to real estate. You just got to get over the fear. Mm-hmm. And the way to get over it is just to go out there and look.
Exactly.
Get with a realtor, have them show you some properties. Do some research on your own using some of the software I just shared with you. Find the addresses of some owners that are vacant. You're looking for vacant properties that are owned by out-of-state owners that have delinquent in their taxes. With a one push of a button, without buying a list from other aggregators of this kind of data, you can literally, one push of a button, you can have a list of 100 people who are out-of-state owners, own vacant properties that are non-owner occupied or vacant, that have the qualifications that'll let you know that a good deal is in the making.
Exactly.
So
there are tools out there that we can all use. And I feel like even if you need a little extra motivation after using all of these fear go away strategies, you can also use your own goals as a motivation. Think about your family. Think about all what you want to do for your future. Think about the legacy that you want to build. Can you build this on the current situation that you are? Can you build this with the current job that you have? Do you see this working into the future that you expect to have? Probably not. But if you invest in that one little property, just one, it could change the whole mindset.
So we'll go into another example here on our next segment, but I want to tell them about a really great deal.
That'd be great. And then again, thank you so much, Bob. And we're going to leave this super great deal for our next episode. So stay tuned if you want to find what the next good deal is. We're going to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.